We're going to go back to Hilmar von Campe here in just a moment. Former Hitler Youth and soldier in the German military during World War II, paralleling what's happened in Germany and now happening here in the United States and all over the world as classical totalitarianism manifests itself, black uniforms and all. We're going to tell you how to get his book in just a moment, so be ready with a paper and pen for that. I wanted to thank a few of our sponsors that have made today's show possible as well. One of them is MySolarBackup.com. That's MySolarBackup.com. This is a high-quality solar panel / converter plug-in system. You can get a bunch of these and run your whole house, but this will run quite a few things in your house. Check it out at MySolarBackup.com or give them a call at 877-327-0365. Solutions from Science, our great longtime sponsor, 877-327-0365. That's MySolarBackup.com. We all need to move towards becoming self-sufficient. The government doesn't own the sun yet, folks, so we need to get on board with this now. MySolarBackup.com. Also, FrontSight.com. Have you heard of the Millionaire Patriot? Dr. Ignatius Piazza, the founder of the FrontSight Firearms Training Institute, is offering a free handgun and 5 days of firearms training to my listeners. They also have a lot of great free stuff at FrontSight.com and a free email list and a lot of free training there on the site. They're the premier and the biggest private for the general public firearms training, handguns, rifles, shotgun training, 4 or 5 day, 2 day courses, you name it. This is the time of the year to take it outside Pahrump, Nevada. And they have a lot of great deals that they're running right now. And there's no drill instructor or tough guy attitude. It's a family affair. FrontSight.com. That's FrontSight.com. FrontSight.com. Okay, going back to Hilmar von Campe, author of Defeating the Totalitarian Lie. Okay, let's continue where you left off. Your story got cut off by the break. So Hitler obviously
announced on September 1 of 1939 that the Polish army, which were in reality not the Polish army, but the SS soldiers in Polish uniforms, that they had intruded into Germany and had killed people, and now we should shoot back. And well, we took it. I took it. I was then 14 years old, so I took that as the truth. But then 2 days later, the French and British governments declared war on Germany because they had a contract, a treaty with Poland if they would be attacked by us. And so when we heard about this, we said these are the same enemies as World War I. The British, the main principal enemies, France and British. This, therefore, is not a Nazi war. This is a German war, and we first have to win the war, and then we have to deal with the Nazis. So we went voluntarily. I was drafted, but I would have gone alone also and become a soldier and defend my fatherland. There were millions of us who did not go for the Nazis into the war, but we wanted to defend our fatherland. My elder brother fell in Russia, and it was at that time. It was usual. We have announcement in the newspapers about people who die and in the war, people who fell. And if people fell, the family normally said, so-and-so fell for Führer, for the Nazi leader, for Hitler, for Germany, and for the people of Germany. And my brother did not die for the Nazis. Like us, he thought he would, he's a patriot, he would defend Germany, and so it happened. And when the war was over, my mother, we were refugees, we were thrown out of Germany, and of Eastern Europe, Germany, and the hatred of the Nazis for her was so terrible that the whole person was full of hate, because my father father was killed in a Soviet concentration camp, and she made the Nazis responsible for the destruction of our country and for the destruction of our family. And only when she realized that as a Christian, hatred was not what Christian teaching was, she realized that she was a fake Christian. And she went down on her knees, and she couldn't get rid. She could not kill this hatred. And she went on her knees, and he said to God, if you are there, I know that I shouldn't hate. I cannot help me. Please help me. And I don't get up before I am free of my hatred. It took her 2 hours, and then she got up, and she was a free woman. And I'm telling you this story to tell you the depth of the feeling inside Germany about the Nazi system and the Nazi people and the Nazi ideology.
Of course, one tyranny brought you into World War II, but then your father was killed by the other Soviet tyranny that even killed more people than Hitler. Let's get into parallels, because you said you really wanted to get into that, and your book covers that, between what's happening in the West and the United States and what you saw in Germany, the totalitarian mindset, the totalitarian system, more parallels.
Yeah, I think like everybody else, I look at the radio, I listen to radio broadcasts like this one. I look to the commentaries in the television show, national shows where I want to get into, like there are quite a number, Hannity and Glenn Beck and so forth. But they all deal on territory which is not the original American territory. It is the consequence of what we have been faced with for quite some time. And I hear people speaking about the battle between capitalism and communism or socialism. That is not the main issue. The main issue is God, that God is being taken out of out of society, out of schools, out of families, and so I'm saying is that the global ideological war in which we are for decades now, and most Americans don't realize it, which we are in decades, is the role of God in human society. And Nazi Germany was a part of the insurrection against God by Christians and by atheists, people who don't want to accept the commandments of God. I think the godlessness in the infrastructure of the United States, with 50 million abortions dead, human beings not born being killed, that is much more than the 6 million Jews which the Nazis killed, and 10 million more, like my father, like people like my father who were taken by from the Soviets, which are the same similar ideologies. So there is a connecting part where the so-called Christians who don't stand up and the Nazi